All right, all right, all right. You are live with Mizz Moodie on blogtalkradio.com. And tonight I have the architect who, hit me up and told me he's going to be a little bit late. So you're just rocking with me for now. Tonight's topic is modern day technology a blessing or a curse? So basically what made me come up with this topic is, I've been reading a lot of disturbing things in the news lately about, privacy on the internet. So, wait, let me back up. Originally, I said when I was promoting the show, in terms of communication, but I'm actually going to open this up in general, because originally I was going to say, I feel like I might have mentioned this in previous shows, but I feel like, the sense of community that we used to have as people is kind of breaking down because of technology. But I'm going to get into that later. Right now, I'm going to talk about the disturbing things I see on the news. Read in the news. Not mainstream media, because, you already know that mainstream media is kind of filtered. So I actually read somewhere that Apple actually has a patent for a technology that can shut off your camera phone from like some remote location if you take a picture of the quote unquote wrong thing. And when I saw that, I was like, the wrong thing? Like, what's the wrong thing? Like, what are you scared of people seeing? That's one thing. Something else I read more recently was that Google, I think, I wish I had the article in front of me because I can't remember it off the top of my head. But either, the U.S. government or there's some type of deal going on between the U.S. government and Google that, they're trying to get access to people's private Google records, which for me, my phone is linked to Google. So that's basically, if they got into my Google account, that's my whole entire life. Basically, you'll have there's Gmail. Then you'll have my phone number. If I used to use Blogspot at some point, shout out to anybody who remembers when I used to use Blogspot. That was my first blog, was on Blogspot. And, they'll get information to that. And, probably without a warrant. Oh, that was the big thing. Without a warrant. So, that's a little bit creepy. So I think this is my caller calling in right now. Hold on a second. Architect, is that you?
Yes, it is. What's going on?
What's up? What's up? All right, I was introducing the topic to the people while I was waiting for you. But
okay.
Quick fun fact: the song I was just playing just now, that's Groovy X by Johnny Go Figure, that is produced by the Architect. So make sure y'all go check that out.
Yes,
anyway,
please.
Actually, before I get back to the topic,
shameless plug. I said, Bloke is on the way, by the way. Shameless plug.
Right. Yeah. So, all right, before I get back to the topic, actually, let me give you a chance to, introduce yourself to the people. You have any projects coming up, anything you want to promote? Now's your time.
Okay, well...
After you reintroduce yourself to the people, because, sorry, wait. My bad. Sorry to cut you off. But I forgot, you were my first interview ever. So, anybody who's been rocking with me from day one should remember you. So, welcome back to the show. Let me say that first. But, all right, let the people know what you...
Okay,
go ahead, let the people know what you got coming up.
Right now, we have a few projects in the works. One of which is Johnny Go's Bloke. That's on the way. We also have Back for the Moon from Michael Moon. That's on the way also. So, we have a couple things in the works. We're working out the logistics for the project, and then, we'll fill in everybody as soon as we're ready for y'all. But we still have singles out. We have Groovy X by Johnny Go, that's out. We have Permanent Headache out by Johnny. For Mike, we have Ran. We have that out. We have Supernova out. So, it's a couple tracks that you can go check out. Just search it online. And you'll be able to see it, take a listen, give us feedback. Yeah.
All right, no problem. Y'all heard that. Make sure y'all go check all of that stuff out. Not just one. Everything he just listed. Go check that out. Anyway, so today's topic is technology a blessing or a curse? Now, I was just talking to the people by myself for a second. So the things I said was, I've been reading some disturbing things on the news. One of them was, I think Apple has a patent for technology that could shut off your camera phone if you ever take a picture of the wrong thing. That's one of them. And another one I think is, I think Google can hand over your records, I think, without, to the government without a warrant. Originally when I was promoting, I meant in terms of communication from people to people, but from person to person, but, I read those two articles and I just felt like, it was relevant to the topic, so I brought it up. But, how do you feel about technology? Do you feel like it hurts more than it helps, or, does the good outweigh the bad, or does the bad outweigh the good?
I think, I think that'll be relative. I think it's, in the hands of the wrong person, it might be a bad thing, or the wrong people.
Yeah.
I think when you start abusing people's privacy and, with regards to spying and, things like that, that's the part I disagree with. But I also think technology in itself makes life easier, depending on what it is. So, it's two sides. So it's that saying that they say, guns don't kill people, but people kill people.
Yeah.
I guess it's one of those things. So, yeah, I mean, in the wrong hands, it could be a dangerous thing or, even a bad thing. But in the right hands, it can actually do good, Because, the armed forces for the United States, they're actually doing good things, protecting our civil liberties, right?
Right.
But, in the hands of a terrorist, then, it'll be a bad thing. So, that's pretty much, in a nutshell, what my take on the whole thing would be. Looking at but I don't know if you've been following the news stories as of late. You mentioned the article, but one major thing that they've been bringing up is, the spying that they've been doing on, the American citizens. And you mentioned how you could give up your information without a warrant and stuff like that. But, I guess you could say technically if they have that as the terms of agreement and you void that once you agree to use their service,
Right.
But, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's one of those funny situations,
Yeah. Well, I guess I picked a pretty broad topic because that's only one section of technology. So let's move on to I guess how it affects, interpersonal relationships. Now the other thing that I mentioned was that I kind of feel like a sense of community is kind of breaking down also because of technology. Like you find that people don't really talk on the phone or talk in person as much anymore because they're too busy texting. Because, it's less personal when you're texting somebody. That's easier to text than it is to pick up the phone and call. But a lot of things can get misconstrued over text. Like, if somebody texts you and says, "Are you okay?" and the person says, "I'm okay," you're going to assume everything is okay. That's different from calling them and saying, "Are you okay?" and hear, "Man, I'm okay." You can hear it in their voice that they're not okay. That's something different. Or seeing them in person asking if you're okay and you see they fighting back tears as they're saying, "I'm okay." And then another thing with social media, then, which I already mentioned on social media pet peeves, that it makes it really easy to make your life look like everything is cool, and it's not, and it makes it easy to make you look like you have a whole lot of friends when really maybe you just went to one thing and took pictures with a lot of people that don't even text or call you once you left the place, or something like that. But then everybody's commenting on the pictures online. It's taken away from the days where we actually used to spend time in each other's company instead of making it look like we're in each other's company. But that's my stance. So how do you feel about that?
No, I definitely agree with you. Like, for example, yesterday I saw a news article that mentioned something about organ donors, number of donors doubling since Facebook put that feature to, indicate whether or not you're a donor. And I think that's just, superstitious. It's kind of like, oh wow, I get to tell people that I'm a donor. I get to post it on Facebook. All right, cool. So let let me sign up, you know, and then you'll take a picture of your driver's license or something like that, and it shows organ donor, and you know, you get to show everybody on your friends list that you're a donor. I think, you know, that takes away from the actual thought of the whole thing. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess, you know, once you pass, you get your organs regardless. But to me, that's something that, you know, people do out of selflessness, you know, not selfishness. And I think, you know, when you do it because you can put it on the Facebook status, it is selfish because you're looking for people to comment on that. You're looking for people to like it, you know. I mean, and this is just my opinion. I think, you know, an honest or a selfless, charitable person is somebody who does it without needing accolades for it. You know, you're not looking for people to say, hey, you know, he donated so-and-so to so-and-so, or he did this for this person, or that did that for that organization, you know, without you advertising it or putting on some kind of timeline or, you know, stuff like that, you know. Yeah. That to me is kind of corny. I don't respect it, you know. I mean, even if you donated $1 million, you know, if I feel like you have to advertise it, I think it's corny, you know.
Well, I didn't even know about the organ donor thing. That's kind of you know. Yeah.
So yeah, it's just one of those things. But that's, you know, to kind of go back to what you mentioned about, you know, interfering with interpersonal relationships. I definitely agree with that. You know, like one peeve I have is, you know, people coming up to me and asking me stuff about friends or family members that the friend or family member didn't mention to me but posted online. I hate when people ask me about that offline. You know, hey, you know, so-and-so is doing so-and-so. How do you feel about that? You know, it's just, I mean, you know, especially if it's something, I don't know. That to me, just within itself, is a peeve of mine. You know? I mean, I'm not against, you know, sharing, because I mean that's the point of social networks. You know, people who you aren't in contact with couldn't necessarily communicate with on a daily basis. You get to reach them indirectly. You know, I guess directly / indirectly. I guess. Because, I mean, you're not supposed to go directly to them, but the message does go directly to them. So, I guess it's directly / indirectly, I don't know. But I just think that when it gets to certain levels, that's when, I guess, for lack of a better word, it becomes abusive. You know? Like, I mean, people are completely voluntarily voiding their privacy for some kind of superficial pleasure. I don't know. You know, and one, for example, like, you know, somebody posts something online attracting a certain type of attention, and when they get that type of attention, they're shocked that they got the type of attention that they got. You know, it's just like, I mean, come on. Like, you know, everywhere you go, you have a reputation. You know, things that you do on a daily basis builds your reputation, whether or not you intended to or not, it does. And it's every day online. You know, you're talking ignorance. You know, you're just whatever you do online or in person, people are gonna see that as you. Like, that's what you do. You know.
Right.
Then when people make an interpretation of you, and then, you know, reflect that back at you, you can't be mad at that, because that's what she actually put out there. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think now with these different social networks, they make it so much easier for people to do that. You know, to kind of like just be somebody that they're not necessarily they're not necessarily that they portray, but people, you know, that's people's interpretations of them. And I guess at the end of the day, you can't blame social networks for that. It's actually the person that's actually using it, kind of like what I mentioned before, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, it's really the people that is at fault. I mean, you know, it's there that the networks are there for you to use, you know, and it could be used for a positive thing. You have people that find family members on social networks, you know, that they haven't met ever or haven't seen in a long time, you know. so there is positive things, a lot of positive things you could gain from social networks. I can't remember the band, but there's a band that I've been listening to lately that I found out met each other on Craigslist, I believe, and it's pretty good music. So I mean, like I said, it's there and it's there for us to use, but I think the problem is the people that are using it. I think that's where all the issues come up.
I definitely hear what you're saying, basically. Like, and it shows, I guess, on social media, because not everybody's using it the same way. Those just happen to be the same people you see in your newsfeed more often are the ones that are just, doing it for attention. Because obviously those who aren't doing it just for attention aren't really going to, flood your newsfeed with a bunch of BS. But anyways, let me get to my first caller, who's, All right, Luck, are you with me right now?
Hey, what's up?
What's up? So, all right. I saw you was listening all this time, so go ahead. What's your take on it?
Yes. All right. So I want to go back to technology being a gift or a curse, and I want to bring up like something different. You heard about like idols, or how they have like a digital drug, right? Have you heard of this?
No.
Mm-hmm. Right. So like you can listen to, let's say, Viagra or cocaine or ecstasy, but at the same time, you can also listen to confidence or, I don't know, focus, something like that. I think it is both a gift and a curse. And I think I'm going totally off topic. I was going to the original topic or whatever, but like Architect said, in the right hands, I think it can be a good thing, and in the wrong hands, it could be terrible, But I think you just have to take the good with the bad, because, technology is definitely necessary, We wouldn't have all these advances if we didn't have these technological advances, So it's a necessary evil, I'd say.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, you know what? The reason why I didn't really emphasize the good too much, because I think a lot of that goes without saying. But, definitely in medical technology, you got people living way longer than they ever were, in previous times. But yeah, that kind of goes without saying. I just wanted to shed the light that it wasn't all perfect, but I'm definitely not trying to take away that from the blessings of technology, basically. So, it's definitely a good look. Okay, I got a lot of callers, so I gotta move it on to the next person. So,
all right. Peace.
You can say hello. No, you know how I let everybody answer each other. So, that's up to you. But anyway, Shamara.
Hey, what's up?
Hello? What's up? All right, you've been listening. Yeah.
Okay, just want to quickly say that, I do agree that there are some positives. Like, I think technology has really given people opportunity to stay in touch and just kind of communicate with each other, like, more so than before. But I think the catch-22 with that is that it also builds up expectations that people kind of feel like, okay, well, because we have all this technology, like, people are supposed to be available to talk and communicate whenever, let's say one person wants to talk, and they, let's say they see you online, or they see you, let's say, a social network, like Facebook or something like that. Oh, your indicator's on. Oh, my gosh, I need to talk now. And it's just I don't know, sometimes because of all this technology, I think people are forgetting to respect the time and space of other people. And just to also comment on what the architect was saying earlier about people creating personas, it's a great networking tool too. It's great for marketing all the technology that we have. At the same time, it's people are kind of getting what I like to call a celebrity complex, where they think every little thing in their life needs to be documented or shared, or people start creating or maybe just developing a persona online that doesn't really match their real personality. So that's kind of the downside for me with all the advances in technology.
Back to what you said about it not respecting people's time and space. That's definitely a cell phone problem. I kind of feel like my cell phone could be a leash sometimes, to the point where when I go on vacation, I'm happy to turn it off sometimes, or to happy to get away from it sometimes. I just lost a caller. Whoever just hung up, feel free to call back. But, people feel they know you have your phone on you all the time, so that means, that I'm obligated, or I have to answer your text or your call right the second when I'm calling you, and kind of gets on my nerves when I get that call like 10 times in a row, and I'm like, there's a reason why I'm not answering the phone. Just give me a minute, and I will get back to you when I can. Like, before there was cell phones, it was just the house phone. You had an answering machine, you left a message, and you waited for that person to call you back. So don't forget voicemail. People don't even bother with the voicemail. They just keep calling you until you answer the phone, because I'm like, I don't have to answer the phone. Like, whatever. But, yeah, let me get on to my next.
A lot of people just text message, people are shying away from actual phone conversations too. But I mean, personally, I just let my phone battery die.
Put the light on.
What happened? What's the last thing you said just now, Ark?
I said I personally just let my phone battery die. I mean, I charge my phone in the morning. If it dies, it dies. I'll get the text messages and the voicemails if they leave voicemails. When I turn it back on. But I definitely don't stay enslaved to my cell phone.
Yeah, my phone died at work today, but hold on a second. Okay. All right, next caller. Greg. Hello? Caller, if you haven't spoken yet, say what up.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just called.
Hello?
I don't even know I thought can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I just called in. I don't even know the topic. I just turned my phone on because it was dead.
That's actually ironic that you said you just turned your phone on, because that's the topic is technology really a blessing or a curse? Just to kind of recap what we went over, we went over, people, the government or people spying on each other via technology. We touched on social media and people creating false personas or, and then also with cell phones, people not really respecting your personal space. And then because they're aware that you have your cell phone on you at all times, they think, they can text you and call you like 1,000 times and then get mad when you don't respond right away. But it's like, back in the day when you just had a landline, you left your voicemail on the answer machine and you had to wait for that person to respond. Like, that's what it was. And then we also talked about social media, I guess, taking away from the good intent of good deeds, because it seems like people just do good deeds just for getting the attention on social media. Architect mentioned people putting pictures of the organ donor on their IDs just, so they can get all the likes and the comments. So that's basically what we touched on. Oh, and someone said, we weren't really touching enough on the blessings of technology. And then I mentioned, obviously, medical technology has been great with helping people live longer lives, So, with that said, now what's your take on the topic?
I mean, I think it could be good and bad. More so good, really bad, just depending on the person.
We mentioned that too.
Yeah, because at least when technology advances, it's usually made to better our lives in some sort of way. So without even looking at, I guess, the negative aspects of it, Instagram gives us a chance to, share what we see. We can just snap a picture, but it's really, what we see from our perspective. And then we all know about Facebook. You're able to share, messages, and people have found family members and stuff on it. So there are good things that come from, technology and social media. But I guess for every good thing, you could definitely say something bad. And I just wanted to kind of focus on the good.
All right, go ahead. What's the good? Because I got to wrap it up just now. So you're going to be like the last comment.
No, I kind of touched on the good. I said, you can, people have found family members and stuff on Facebook. I don't know how people manage to get from point A to point B as far as like a road trip without using, a GPS. Or thing. I actually use maps or intuition.
And Hopstop was a good invention, get to the place of public transportation. But And just a side note, yeah, with the finding family members, I've found family members that I had trouble getting in touch with via social media. So that definitely is a plus. But I have 40 seconds left, so I have to wrap it up. Thank you, Architect, for being the first guest ever and for returning. It's been real.
Good. Pleasure.
Thank you to everybody who called in. Thank you to everybody listening. And I will see y'all next week. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.